Okay. You in there, Blaine?
I am.
Hello.
Oh, we live?
We're live.
We are live. Hi, guys.
Happy Tuesday. It is the first Tuesday of 2020. We made it to a new year. Welcome back. Tuesday Talks with Tonia. Today we're doing Women in Radio, and I have two lovely ladies sitting beside me, Blaine and Miss Monique. They are with iHeartMedia, and so we're just going to have a conversation about, hey, why did you get into radio? What is radio like? What challenges do you have? How do you blaze a trail for women coming behind you? Because we're all things women. We're all positive. We're all about sharing and encouraging and building and, grooming. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, finally.
Yeah, I was going to get in trouble about that. I figured that as much. I've had my podcast and my best friend who's in radio, and I have not had her on. So she's here. Came all the way from Columbia. She drove an hour to get here in traffic.
More like 57 minutes.
But she made it, and I'm grateful. And Blaine, her sidekick, Sharon, is sick. They were supposed to be here together, but Blaine was like, "I'll still come." I was like, "Yay!"
And Blaine just so happens to be my coworker.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to
iHeart, baby.
iHeart, and they have red. They're complimenting each other. I have on pink. I didn't get the memo, but
that's all good.
Yeah, I'm still.
We'll forgive you this one time.
Thank you. Yeah, next time I'll wear red because most people think I work for iHeart anyway.
Right.
I'm always with people at iHeart, so they assume that I work at iHeart. But I just like radio. I like music. I like fun, which these ladies do too. Mm-hmm. And so we're having a little music going in the background because this is Women in Radio. So we're doing it.
It works well.
So we're gonna, as you can tell, we will be having fun tonight. So, ladies,
it's not the music I play.
It's not, but it's a mix. You have to be versatile and diverse. Right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let each lady introduce themselves, tell their title, what they do, what they love about radio, and then we'll get into the conversation. So, Miss Monique,
why do I have to go first?
Because you're next to me.
All right, hi, I'm Miss Monique. So many things I could say, but I'm just going to keep it real short and simple. I am radio personality, program director, AJ's mommy, playwright. I live in Columbia, South Carolina as the program director of 2 radio stations. But I work here too in Augusta at Power 107. Yes, and I don't know. I just want to keep it simple because it's so much to tell. No, I'm just kidding, but no, seriously. I love radio. I love what I do. It's great. Blaine.
All right. Well, I'm Blaine. I am a program director for 105.7 The Bull here in Augusta. I've been with iHeart going on 8 years now. Started part-time. Started in Macon, Georgia. Went to Noonan, Georgia. Went back to Macon, and now I'm here in Augusta almost 3 years now. Hard to believe I'm coming up on 3 years.
Really? I remember when you first got here.
Me too.
Yeah. So it's been quite the journey. I've done a little bit of everything. So I've learned a lot along the way, and love country music. I'm on in the afternoon, so it's pretty much
that's awesome.
My radio
3
journey.
years. I can't believe because I remember when you came too.
I know it's hard to believe. March will be 3 years.
And Mo has been gone for
about 4 years, but I've been on the radio in Augusta for 13 years and been in radio 17 years.
What? 17
with iHeart.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Now that's rare. You don't typically get people that stay, especially in media, radio, television, those types of jobs. Typically, people transition out a lot. So
well, knock on wood, we got a job today, but you never know what tomorrow might hold. Okay.
But you 17 years, that's something to be said.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Even 8 years. Even 8 years. In today's times with the way things are changing as it relates to music and how people consume music and other information. So
they still listening to the radio now. Don't let them fool you now.
I know everybody tries to say that radio is dying. I'm like, no.
I listen to the radio.
I listen to it every day. I'm a local radio person. I have to have the local music because I want to hear the live voices. I want to hear the people. I want to connect to the people that are on the radio, like the personalities like you guys.
And you want to know what's going on
in your community, and you can't hear that when you're listening to satellite or YouTube. No offense, YouTube. I know I'm on YouTube right now. That's just another medium.
They ain't paying you though.
They're not yet, but they will be.
Exactly. So we're take that back.
So I'll start with you, Mo. What drove you to be in radio? Why
Well,
radio?
Well, it was kind of sort of an accident. So I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, and I was trying to get up out of Flint, and I wanted to be on TV. So somebody told me about a broadcasting school in Detroit, which was 60-something miles from Flint. So they told me about it. I signed up for it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school to be a news broadcaster, blah, blah, blah. That time, this blonde was like all blonde. So I don't know what made me think they was gonna put me on news with anything with all that hair like that. But anyway, so I got in there.
Which is sad. But
I know, but so I got into school, and they actually, you could focus on radio and television. And I was, doing both. And I was like, hey, I like this whole radio thing, talking. I just like to talk. So then it came a point. So you could do like the entire year and get they were called diplomas, like high school diplomas, in radio or television. If you stopped at 9 months, or if you went a whole year, you got it in both. But because my money was funny, I was like, I'm gonna stop 9 months. Let me stop here. I'll take a radio for $900. Yeah. So we stopped at radio, and from there, got my first job at Radio 1 Detroit. Was there. The first program director was like, if you ever think that you're gonna have a career in radio, you may as well forget it.
Wow.
That was because I couldn't stay up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like listening to I love me some Christian music, but it was like a Christian pastor, and I mean he wasn't no Joel Osteen, you know what I'm saying? But I like Joel, but he was like, it was a little boring, and I kept falling asleep, and the alarm kept going off. And he was like, man. So about 2 weeks later, I kind of did a no call, no show. Never put that job on my application again. So anyway, so I got my next job.
Y'all don't do this at home.
Right, exactly. Got my next job, Clear Channel, which is, of course, iHeartRadio. And the rest is history.
Wow.
Went from there, graduated. This story could go on and on. Like seriously. Let me tell you right quick how I got my first job with Clear Channel, though. So my teacher that was at the school that I went to, Specs Howard School of Broadcast Art, and that's in Southfield, Michigan. She was like, one thing that really impressed me was this student, they sent a shoe to me, and inside the shoe was a heel. And she said, she put the possible applicant, the student, put the demo inside the shoe and was like, hey, now that I got one foot in the door, listen to my demo, give me a call so I can get my other foot in the door. Man, I went to Payless. Is Payless still open?
No.
Listen, I went and bought like every clearance shoe and just sending shoes out everywhere.
That's
including to her. She had just got a job at Radio 1 in Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Sent it to her. She hired me.
Oh wow. That's creative.
Yeah.
Creative.
Yeah.
But you were like, I'm serious.
Yes.
Like, what can I do to get in?
Yeah, some of the people that I'm really, really close to now, they don't even know I sent them shoes before. They don't know. This is like 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking like, now I know y'all got your cell phone number, everything.
Because you never know.
Relationships.
You never know. And you build relationships.
Yes.
So Blaine, what's your story? How did you happen into radio?
I guess it was kind of an accident too, in a sense. I grew up listening to radio, and I always thought, oh, it's so cool. You could just talk for a living. And I was like, Mo, I'm a big talker. So I love to talk. My dad will tell you numerous stories of how I would talk his ear off. We'd go on trips together. He loved it. He'll tell you to this day how much he loved it. But I actually started in college as a dance major. Thought I was going to be a ballerina the rest of my life.
Wow.
Loved to dance. Had a huge passion for it. So I went to college on a dance scholarship. About a year and a half into it, I have scoliosis, so I had a lot of back pain. And I'm like, my body is not going to hold up for this, but I love to entertain. So it's like, what is my outlet? And for some reason, I was like, well, I can minor in communications. And then I was like, no, I'm just going to go the full route, just switch majors completely, which was kind of scary. Like, I had thought, oh, I don't want to change my mind. I'm so dead set. But I changed majors to communication, and kind of like you, I had to do radio, TV, newspaper. And I just fell in love with radio. I became the student station manager in college and just absolutely fell in love with it. I actually went to a job fair like my senior year. It was at UGA. I went to Grinnell University. I went to UGA. I wasn't even really supposed to be there. I called and they said I could come, but it was really for just UGA students. And so I went, met this guy, worked for Clear Channel. He was like the GM at the time. Met him, talked to him. About a month later, I got a call. And he's like, hey, we want you down here for an interview. And it just so happened to be in Macon, not far from where I'm from. So I went down there, interviewed, and I started a week after I graduated college.
Wow.
I had a job. It was part-time, but that was my foot in the door. And I was doing all the little, tasks that nobody else wanted to do. Right. But I had, my end there, and I just fell in love with it. And once it's in your blood, it's just there. You can't get away from it.
Yeah. Right. And you happen into stuff because you think you're going for one thing, and then you end up in something completely different.
You have to be okay with that.
Right. You do.
I was so afraid of disappointing other people. I was like, oh, my parents think that this is what I'm going to do. And I was so afraid of that. But then, you have to really kind of look at it. What's the best option for you? And, and I'm glad I made that change. And here I am.
And I think as women, we do that a lot. We try to appease other people. And our dreams and hopes and desires, we put on the back burner because, my mom or my parents expect me to do this, or my friends think I should do this, or my children or whoever. And as women, sometimes it's hard for us to put us first and say, what do I really want to do? Because I think you guys are both phenomenal in radio. And so can you imagine your life without it?
Oh my gosh, no. I don't know what I know,
but I figured it out.
Yeah.
You will figure it out.
I'm just saying, I love it. I really, really do. But we figure out how to still, speak to the mass. You know what I'm saying? I figure it out. True. You know what I'm saying? I love radio.
Right.
But,
But I've also said, I'm like, I don't know what I would do if this isn't what I was doing.
You might have to go back to dancing.
Oh, Lord.
Have you seen the movie Hustlers? No.
Oh, my goodness.
Tonight is we're just having fun. We're having a good conversation. It is real talk because you're like, okay, if I have to do something different, it's going to be some things I might have to do. If
I was your size, look. If radio went away,
people like, hey, meet me down at Hustlers, the corner of 52nd and Michigan Avenue. That's where you'll find, but you will still find a way to do your passion, because you said you both like to talk. That's why Mo is a playwright. That's why, she does things that she goes and empowers other women. She's on speaking tours. You still learn to use your craft wherever you go and whatever you do.
Well, and with things like YouTube and podcasts,
exactly.
There's so many opportunities out there now. It's just grown so much. There is endless possibilities.
Absolutely. Right. What have been some challenges that you have come across in radio as a woman? Because when I think about radio, especially back in the day, you never really heard women on the radio. It was always men. And so now you have an influx of women in radio, but I know there had to be some challenges to overcome to get to where you are, especially as a program director.
I actually wrote my senior thesis on women in radio and the lack of. So
really?
It's kind of interesting
to
see. It's interesting to see how from then to now it's changed. Even since I've been in radio, I've seen a huge change. A lot more women in leadership roles. And so that's really been a blessing. But not to say that doesn't come without challenges.
Right.
Sometimes I get the feeling that they don't believe I'm capable, and so I've had to. I actually when I when I got here to Augusta, it's kind of a joke that I found my voice because for so long I was like the quiet girl that just did what I was told and like did that and that was it.
Yeah.
And so when I got here to Augusta, they're like, you have to speak up for yourself. And so it's kind of nice to have, because I have a female GM. So she's like my advocate, which means a lot to me because I was used to like a guy behind a door, and so with her, she's like, come in here, talk to me. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like it was a learning curve for me. But it's been very eye-opening and that, finding my voice, like being able to speak up. I'm like, I know how to do this. Like, trust me to do my job. I'm here for a reason. So that's been the biggest thing is just almost proving myself. yourself. And I mean, it's hard.
Even though you have the job, you still have to prove yourself every day.
Yes. And it's tough.
And it's happened rather quickly for you. I'll say I've been doing this for 17 years. And I guess for the past, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, well, maybe 4 years, about the same amount that I got into management. And it takes a minute. You got people like Minnesota Fats that not gonna ever leave his job. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Minnesota Fats. Right. Yeah, he's our boss, like for real. Yeah. Well, I was his boss for about 3 months. Yeah, I was. Seriously, you don't know that point? Yeah, I was his boss. So yeah, I was Minnesota Fast's boss because actually Sherry Bass's too. Yeah, and but now
all sorts of
yeah, exactly. That's what we do. We talk too much. That's why we ain't radio.
That's why we've been held back in radio. Because
Exactly.
You're like, shut up.
No, seriously, but I mean the challenge is like for real. Is people are, staying in great position for a long time, and it's hard for them to say, "Okay, we gonna let this woman do this." Right.
Well, and for so long it was a man's industry.
Right.
Exactly. So predominantly men, and it, so it's like we have to keep pushing.
And we running things now. We seriously.
I know. Shout out to Ivy Edom, who is the GM here in Augusta. And Ivy, she kick butt and take names. Like she is serious.
She told them, "You'd be stupid if you didn't hire her."
And she's an advocate for other women.
Yes,
and that's awesome because a lot of times in industries like that, it could be competition. And people don't want to be in competition with anyone, so they don't really groom women or they don't make room for women, even as a woman. And sometimes we still fight those, cliques and stigmas, and you have to get over those hurdles of women who may not want to see you in a bigger position or in a better position or over them or anything because they want to be the top woman. And so to have an Ivy who is team women, that's awesome. I would love, and I love Ivy. I'm her feng shui. That's what she calls me, my feng shui. Because she's just that kind of person that she's going to elevate you. She's going to bring you along, and then she's going to elevate you. So that's awesome. What I know fun parts, because I get to have some fun with y'all with radio. So what's some of your most fun times that you've had in radio?
Goodness, we can't talk about that.
It's just so many. I don't know.
I mean, so one of my highlights was Robin Thicke not too long ago.
Oh, hold on. He FaceTimed me. Did you see my picture with me?
I did.
Yeah, so
I was in Columbia.
You get to but you get to interact with people like that. So that's one of the perks of radio. And a lot of times people come through and you don't know. Hey, when you look at a picture, it's like Monique was with who? I was like, hey, how can I be down? Like I want to be down.
So many times I'm a groupie.
Right, you're not typically a groupie.
But when I think about a fun time is when me and Cher left Fats when we went to go meet our ex-president Barack Obama.
He's still my president.
If you know Minnesota Fats, you know he gonna come. But he might not come when he say he gonna be there. So
let me
I don't know what he must have thought that Obama was on his side. Look, me and Sherry was looking at the that's legal. We heading on down the road. Oh, this is awesome. Here comes Fats. The rally almost over. He walking up in there shaking his head at us, man. What was I talking about?
We was not gonna miss the president for you.
That was fun. Making that decision.
And your picture with him, I'm still so jealous.
Yeah. I know. At that point I was the first lady. And I understood that,
He had a
Michelle. But yes,
but he met the first lady.
Yes,
he met the first lady. All right.
Yes.
Blaine, what about you guys? What about you, Blaine?
Well, we have a lot of fun at the radio station, but I love the causes that we do things for.
Yeah.
And one of my big passions was Love Pup. That's
Oh, yeah.
event. So getting to see that and put it in place. And
that's awesome.
we're going into our 3rd year doing it.
Yeah.
Do you have any puppies?
I have
She
2,
does.
and they are 2 very big babies. One's like 83 pounds, the
Oh.
other's 98 pounds.
Oh.
So very large.
We got horses. Mini horses.
Yes, and you should see me try to walk them.
Dogs.
They're
Them
always
ain't puppies, are they?
yes, they are always thinking about puppies. But that's just something that I'm really passionate about is animals. So getting to see that, and it's just a fun event. And
It was a neat event. I came out to that event. MJ had a ball. You guys had the zip line for little kids.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah, he loved that. But
And Sharon got her dog from there.
She did get her dog. From
Yeah.
there,
and to see it,
Let
see
y'all
all
keep
of
them
the
dogs.
events.
I'm gonna let y'all keep the dogs.
You don't have dogs?
No, ma'am. I got a 16-year-old boy. No, I can't beat nobody else. I'm good on that. No, I'm just saying it. You don't have kids, do you, Blaine?
I don't.
Exactly.
Those are her kids.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you was feeding like
I'd always
a
6. You can't take my dogs from me.
Listen, somebody go give me a raise. Can you imagine? I get 2 dogs. They be like, "We get 20 more thousand on your
No, you can't file tax.
I know,
Dude,
right?
yeah, and you have to get insurance on them because when they
No, but I do like little puppies though, but not
to
too big. I'm afraid they have teeth.
kids, y'all. So we're talking women in radio, all things women, and you hear about the kids, the non-kids, or the 4-legged kids, as I call them. So what do you foresee for the future for women in the radio? And do you have anyone coming behind you that you're trying to groom and help?
I do. I actually have a couple mentees in different markets. They both are with iHeart. And I think the future for women in radio is just awesome. It's growing. It really, really, really is. I remember, so we go on these yearly trips to Miami with iHeart Urban. And I know you guys do that with country too. You go on these yearly trips, and it's just not a lot of urban program directors, and it's growing. So like maybe when I first started going every year, it was maybe 4. So now it's like 8, so it's growing, and I love it. I do, because I call them my sisters, my radio sisters.
Yeah, when you meet a woman in the same type of position, it's always kind of like, I understand you.
Yes,
You feel like you've met like your best friend. And
right.
I do have a couple of people that I, kind of go to that I've asked for guidance, because I still feel like I'm a newbie most days. So I'm still kind of looking towards like having someone to mentor me and looking for those women that I look up to. And I mean, it's just phenomenal to see the growth that has happened in radio with women. And I am excited to see where it's going to go, because I just feel like there's so many more opportunities. Meg Stevens in Atlanta. I mean, she's opening doors like nothing else. She's like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? So it's just one of those things where it just feels good to have that empowerment behind you, have somebody that's rallying for you and opening that door. But, I kind of look back at my journey through radio, and I always say, learn everything you can. Because when I started, I was doing those daily, like, tedious tasks, and I was doing anything and everything anybody would give me. I'm like, just teach me. I was training with the engineer. I was doing IT work. I was doing even some of the sales side stuff. So I was like learning everything. And I think that makes you so valuable. And it's like, you can't get rid of me now because I know too much.
Yeah, but a lot of these young people, especially some of your little millennial cousins, they don't want to do nothing. And it's just ridiculous. If somebody would have let me just come hang out at the radio station, you ain't got to pay me. We laugh, and they don't want.
And that's the thing. You have something that you love to do, and you'll do it for free if that's what you really want to do. If that's what you have a passion for. But a lot of times, I think the millennials or the younger people, they want it for the fame part, but they don't want it for the work part, and they don't know how hard you work to get where you are and what it takes to get to the top.
We don't always show the struggle.
You don't.
You don't see what I've had to go through to get where I am. And it's not everybody getting a participation trophy. It's like. You gotta put in the work.
You gotta get in and long nights. I know sometimes I'm with Monique, and if something happens at the station, she's on her laptop, she's on the phone, or she's gotta call somebody to figure this out.
But that's the work.
That's the work.
24/7.
It is.
You know?
It's exactly 24/7.
My station goes off the air, I'm gonna get a call, and I'm gonna have to figure it out. You know? I mean, it's just it's the nature of the beast.
It
I
is.
love it. Like,
Me too.
it sounds ridiculous, but like once it's in your blood, it's just there.
Yeah.
It's just,
And I think I like the part that you said you learn whatever you can. Nothing should be off limits. Because at any time, if somebody steps out, you can be able to be that one to step in and answer the problem. And they're like, oh, okay. Then they look at you differently. It's like, oh, she's learned how to engineer. She's learned how to voice track and I know some of y'all terms. I don't know them all, but
do a remote.
Yeah, do a remote and or whatever. Or when the station goes out, hey, Miss Monique Lane, station's out. No matter what station it is, because you have the skill to go and take care of it.
It goes back to proving yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It goes back to showing, hey, I can do that.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Do that enough times and eventually it pays off.
Right. Well, I think you ladies are absolutely blazing the trail. I'm so glad that I know you guys, and I'm so glad to see women taking charge, because even as a program director, you know, the things that you guys get to do, you get to make decisions. You're the boss. And so to see boss women making boss moves in the radio industry, and then you take it to the community. You mentioned Love Pup. You guys do the hospital, everything that you Children's Hospital. You guys raised over
almost
$250,000 for the Augusta community, for the Children's Hospital of Augusta, of Georgia, and things like that. I think people don't always recognize or know that you guys do, and you know, in tune with everything else you do, but you're focused on your community, how to make the community better. And that's what, you know, all of us are here for Tuesday Talks. We're always, how do we make our communities better? What do we do, or how do we give back to the community to build it and to make sure that the people, not just women, but everybody is aware and everybody is, you know, I guess partakers of the good, you know. So you have the Love Pup and you have the fundraiser for that, but you also do, Monique, I've been with her giving away turkeys, going to people's doors, giving away turkeys.
I do my share. I believe I owe a lot back to the community. I mean, I believe that this is why. I mean, why sit on this platform if you're not going to give back to the community?
Absolutely. And y'all do a lot of that. So, and that's one thing I applaud you guys, because you go back and you give back. And like you said, you owe a lot, because the listeners help you with your ratings. The listeners are the ones that
we wouldn't be here without them.
Right. And so to go back and give back to the listeners, that's awesome. The giveaways and, you know, the opportunities to enjoy concerts and events that you guys host. I ran into Cliff at the Cirque du Soleil, as well as Lights of the South, and just to see the vans when you drive up and you have the vans out there, WBBQ and the Bull, and of course Power 107. Exactly. Kids Middays on Live 96.3. So it's just
I'm hot, she's not. Not you.
Dang, girl.
No, it's not. Blaine, no, it's.
She's like
Camilla.
Oh Lord.
Blaine, no. I was talking about my alleged competition. So back in the day when I first started radio, not first started radio, but here, I had this song. Like everybody knows it. Ask some of your friends. Oh, no, I'm just messing with you, but it went, sing the song, Camilla, come on. Sing the song. Sing the song. I'm hot, she's not. Miss Monique. Camilla, it just sounds better when somebody else is singing. But anyway.
It sounds bad when you're trying to hype yourself.
Right. Exactly. Right, it's like, okay, right. Yeah, but I wasn't talking about it.
Okay. So see, radio is fun. And what encouraging words would you share with anybody, but specifically women, if they want to get into this industry? What would you tell them?
Just fight for what you want. Like, don't stop pushing. If you really truly believe in something, push for it. The world is yours if you're willing to.
I like that.
Push the doors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What would you tell them?
Listen, don't think you about to be making a whole bunch of money. I know we look like money. These ain't real diamonds. No, but for real, seriously, exactly what she said. Like, you gotta really, really, really work hard. And I know it looks like it's really, really easy, but it's really, really not. People think it's so easy. Oh, you just talk for a living. No. It's so much more than just talk.
That's what I thought when I was a kid. I was like, all I have to do is talk for a few hours and be done.
Yeah.
So much more.
No, but it's a lot of hard work. But it's you can get there if you're really passionate about. I mean, that's with anything. So,
And I think we need to empower women more.
Yeah.
A lot of us are so quick to like tear each other down.
Yeah.
We need more encouragement.
Absolutely.
Of that, like, helping each other out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is why Tuesday Talks with Tonia exists for me, because I wanted a platform where I'm able to encourage, empower women, uplift women, and spread this good thing with other women so that you don't always have to feel like you're fighting or competing, because there's enough for everybody to eat.
exactly.
There's plenty of room at the table for all of us. And so anytime that I can give somebody a voice, a platform, or a helping hand, that's what we're here to do. So you guys do that every day. I know you do. I've seen it for myself. And
Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Power 107, and then going over
Monday
the
through Friday, 3 to 7 on 105.7 The Bull.
Absolutely. So we thank these ladies here in Augusta, Georgia. We're about to sign out for your first official Tuesday Talks with Tonia for the new year, 2020.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us. See us in 2 weeks, and we look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tonia.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, bye, Facebook. We've logged out on YouTube.
Look, I'm over here like I was
Well, we was on this